Merry Christmas Eve. Um, I thought I'd cover a little bit more of families and family dynamics and basically what I thought they were, what I understood the family dynamic to be, and then kind of what I learned how wrong I was in my later years. So basically, my family, the king and queen, God and the fairy queen, they had their first child, and she was the little princess. And the fairy queen, she wanted everything to be just perfect. The ribbons, the bows, the pretty little girl, and that's what she got. Very dainty, very feminine, and that little girl grew up and turned out to be a sports star and the best shot at trap shooting and junior miss, very successful in life, all through life, except for on marriages, but we're pretty much tied there. And then they had their second child, and he's the boy, and everything they wanted in a son. So now they've got their perfect little family unit. And then I came along, and while my mother was pregnant with me, she was given a drug that was at that time kind of experimental, and it was in her later pregnancy. And first time she was given it, she had contractions, and the second time she had me. And turns out that mommy's given that drug in early pregnancy ended up with children with no limbs. So my mom always felt kind of guilty about that. I always told her I didn't think that was an issue. We did discuss it at length in my later years. And so here I come along, and from birth I kind of had things like issues with magnesium and things like that. And I grew up being very socially awkward. I had social anxiety disorder from youth, pretty much. Wasn't good in crowds, didn't do good in most situations, didn't like sports, was very panicky, but we didn't have a name for it then. And apparently, by that time, they knew about dyslexia, of course, and I was blessed with that too. Apparently so were my brother and sister, but my parents expected more from them. At least that's what my sister tells me. So I basically got pretty much a pass as long as I did my best in school. They didn't get mad at me for poor grades, and I had a horse when I was a teenager until I was 15 and got pregnant. I had my own swimming pool, indoor swimming pool. I was a pretty lucky kid. But apparently, the perfect child, my sister, grew up full of resentment towards me. Now, I never really had a relationship with her. She was like in a whole nother land, a whole nother world. She had her own thing. She did her sports. She did she worked for some people who raised Arabians, and she helped them show and all of that. So she had a very busy life, but she had nothing to do with me, really. Now, I do have a brain injury. I have lost memories, but from all of the times that I have argued with Big Sis about this, she's never come up with anything that we did that had a relationship. So all I can assume is that I'm correct in that we never did. Which is kind of funny because when I had cancer and met Nettie, my sister from another mother, and she was there through cancer. She got me through cancer, and we just met. She got me through a really rough time in my life, and we just realized that we just clicked. We were sisters from another mother, but the blood sister, she had a real problem with that. She just couldn't deal with that. But anyway, before that, meeting my husband, Clyde, uh, and his family, and he is, I think, the youngest of 13 or 14, and very huge extended family. And one of the things I learned is that sisters had relationships with sisters, and brothers had relationships with brothers, and they did things together, and they talked, and they enjoyed each other's company, and brothers and sisters all got together and enjoyed each other's company. It was just a whole nother world to me, and I was like dumbfounded because I never had that. I did have somewhat of a relationship with my brother, but that's a different story. He was a different human being. And anyway, so I come out here and meet Nettie and have issues with my bigger sister, who apparently has decided that I worship Satan and I'm going to burn in the hot place because I'm a witch. No. We're not all the same, apparently. But then I can't, come here, Biscuit. I can't be surprised because she's never taken time to get to know me anyway. So why would I think she'd get to know anything about my spirituality? And she never has. But she has used my spirituality, the fact that I am a witch, and a few other things to deny a promise, to break a promise that my mother made to me. And she's used that to basically deny any kind of relationship. And I think it's because she's always hated me, because she's always been jealous of me. Now, I will say that she's tall, she's very pretty, always has been, intelligent, although she's a maggot, so she's not all that intelligent. She kind of lost some of it up there. But very pretty and athletic and all. But while I might have been a troll, and although my mother still called me the fairy child, I'm happy to be an old crone, and I may not have gotten the beauty in the family or the height. I did have the boobs until they cut them off, and apparently I have way more intelligence, and I got all the empathy. That's another story. So apparently this one's here to protect me from the mice. Anyway, as far as the family dynamic goes, like I say, I thought sisters just, didn't know each other existed, and that's the way it was. But just as of recently, I've learned that it's all about resentment and jealousy, and that my family was rather abnormal. Not my parents. I had great parents. I just think that we're all a little broken, and I know the parts of me that are broken. I know the magnesium deficiencies, I know the different vitamin deficiencies, and I fight with depression, and I live with anxiety and agoraphobia. I know and accept the broken parts of me, and have learned to love all of me. And sadly, like many others, my sister never was able to do that. Now, I find that sad. It's heartbreaking, really, because she doesn't just hurt others, she hurts herself. And that's just a sad situation. So I hope that she enjoys the heirloom that she knows she had no right to. I hope that she finds peace in her God, and that someday she realizes just how much hate actually hurts your soul, because she's got a lot of hate for a lot of different people, anybody that's different than her. That's a maggot thing too, so it was a little political as well as family oriented, but I will say that is one thing that I will get into deeper later, is the fact that that orange menace destroyed families and is working on destroying the country. So that's my talk therapy for tonight. And I hope you have a lovely evening. And Merry Christmas Eve. And we'll see you later.